David the Cobalt Fairy? Kelvin stretched languidly, a sly smile playing on her lips. Another day, another chance to be fabulous, she purred, nudging David. David, a stunning Cobalt Fairy with a figure that could stop a clock, groaned dramatically. 5 more minutes, Your Majesty. My beauty doesn't just happen. They were in their magnificent bedroom, a high-tech marvel within their enchanting lavender fairy castle. A sharp knock echoed from the bedroom door. David threw back the covers with a theatrical sigh. Honestly, can't a girl get her beauty sleep? The nerve of some people. She sauntered to the door, her cobalt wings fluttering with irritation. A fairy with stunning, fiery red hair and wide, panicked eyes stood in the doorway. She had delicate, human-like features and a pair of magnificent red wings, like stained glass, shimmered behind her. She wore a simple, shimmering dress of orange and red silk. "Oh, my apologies, Lord Protector," she stammered. Kelvin glided from the bed, wrapping herself in an elegant sheer robe. She joined David at the door, striking a pose. "All right, spill it," she said, her voice smooth but firm. "You don't interrupt the Queen's morning unless the world is ending." "Is the world ending?" The Fire Fairy wrung her hands. "It's Lord Sargon. He's returned, and he's taking the Water Fairies." As she spoke, David slipped away to her dressing room, rolling her eyes. "Ugh, him again? So last season..." Kelvin's eyes blazed with lavender light. "Oh, hell no," she hissed, her voice dangerously quiet. "Nobody kidnaps fairies in my kingdom and gets away with it. That wizard has just made the biggest mistake of his miserable life. He's about to find out what happens when you mess with the Queen." Without another word, Kelvin teleported to her wardrobe. In a flash of lavender light, she was dressed in a stunning, gorgeous lavender microdress and killer heels. She placed her battle crown upon her head, every inch the furious, fabulous queen. Meanwhile, in her ridiculously massive dressing room, David was taking her sweet time. "A crisis is no excuse for bad makeup," she declared to her reflection. She expertly applied stunning makeup and styled her gorgeous long hair into perfect waves. She slipped into a shockingly sexy cobalt blue mini dress with a plunging neckline that was practically a declaration of war in itself. She paired it with blue fishnet tights and glittery blue high heels. "If I have to fight evil," she mused, "I'm going to look devastatingly good doing it." David gave herself a final look in the full-length mirror, striking a pose. "Perfection," she purred. "Sargon won't know what hit him. He'll be blinded by my beauty before I even throw a punch." "David!" Kelvin's voice cut through the air, dripping with impatience. "Are you done admiring yourself? There's a wizard who needs to be taught a lesson in fashion and fairy napping, and we're already late." David emerged from the dressing room, not rushing but striding in like she was on a runway. Kelvin's impatient look melted into a smirk of appreciation. "All right, darling. You look absolutely lethal. Took you long enough. Now, let's go make that wizard regret he was ever born." Kelvin pulled David into a fierce, passionate kiss. "For luck," she murmured against her lips. Then they held hands, a silent promise passing between them. They shot out the bedroom window like 2 glamorous, vengeful comets, soaring towards the magical fairy lake. They landed silently near the lake, the beautiful magic of the area tainted by fear. Water fairies were huddled everywhere, hiding in the reeds. "Well, this just ruins the whole aesthetic of the place," David muttered under her breath, her eyes narrowing. And there he was, Lord Sargon. A hulking human wizard with a face that looked like it had been hit with a bag of ugly rocks. He was sneering as he tormented the tiny water fairies trapped in glowing cages. "His robes are hideous," Kelvin whispered with disgust. "Sargon!" Kelvin's voice, sharp and cold as ice, cut across the lake. "Still playing with toys, I see. I told you this was a no-wizard zone." Sargon laughed, a horrible booming sound. "I don't take orders from sparkly little things." He thrust his hands forward, unleashing a torrent of black fire. Kelvin threw up a lavender shield, but the force of the blast sent her careening into the water with an indignant splash. "Kelvin!" David shrieked, more in outrage than fear. He got her dress wet. Enraged, David shot toward Sargon like a cobalt comet. "Nobody ruins my girlfriend's outfit," she roared. Her dress transformed into a beautiful, feminine armored micro-dress, and her wings became sharp as steel. A cobalt tornado whipped around her as she slammed a perfectly manicured fist into Sargon's jaw. The crack echoed like thunder. Sargon roared, raising a hand to blast David, but he froze mid-motion. Glowing lavender chains erupted from the lake, wrapping around his limbs. Kelvin rose from the water, drenched but looking utterly furious. "Rule 1, she said, her voice dripping with venom. "You don't touch my protector." Kelvin strode forward, her wet heels clicking ominously. "Did you really think a little fire and water would be enough? Cute, you hurt my people, you ruined my morning, and you got my dress wet." The chains tightened, and Sargon cried out, "This is the end for you, you horribly dressed wizard." David, seeing her chance, flew over to the trapped wizard. She summoned a colossal-sized, glittering cobalt magic grenade. "A little accessory to complete your look," she purred, slipping it neatly into Sargon's pocket. "It's simply to die for." Lord Sargon's eyes widened in terror. The grenade detonated with a deafening, glittery boom, shattering the lavender chains in a shower of cobalt and purple light. The blast threw Sargon backwards, and as his unconscious body hit the ground, a swirling red portal opened beneath him, sucking him into its depths. "Bye-bye," David waved mockingly as it vanished. With the trash taken out, Kelvin and David got to work. David used her cobalt magic to blast open the cages with flair, while Kelvin followed, her gentle healing magic mending the water fairy's injuries. "Honestly, the things we have to do," Kelvin sighed, though a smile touched her lips. David blasted open the last cell. Inside, the water fairy queen lay still, her elegant light blue dress torn. "Oh, this is not good," David said softly. She gently carried the queen to the water's edge and lowered her in. A soft blue light began to glow around the queen as the water revived her, and she finally awoke, gasping. Kelvin flew over, her magic quickly healing the queen's remaining injuries. The two queens hugged. "Now for the after party," Kelvin declared. Surrounded by the rescued water fairies, they danced on the surface of the water until the moon rose, celebrating their victory in style.